Welcome back to another episode of Ausmericanaces. It's round 23 and Indigenous Round, and we come off the back of a wet and woolly weekend, but I'm joined by a couple of guys in the office. I just went real bogan just there. Joined.
What do you mean you just went then? You always are.
So true. Most bogan human around. Aaron Woods, Ash Wicks, and our Queensland correspondent in Brent Tate. Welcome, lads.
Hello. How are we? Good.
We were just pointing out, Tatey, you got complimented by our producer about your nice haircut. You're probably one of the only men in rugby league that never had haircut fads.
That's true. I'm actually going for something a bit different, bit longer in the next couple of weeks.
I
watch
was going to say, I couldn't tell. You could set your watch to that haircut.
Yeah, mate, it's almost like Lego. I just pick it up and put it next to the bed and get up. And
He's a man that just doesn't age, isn't he?
No.
I know. He looks the same Brent Tate when he debuted.
There's a few crow's feet there when you look closely, guys. But anyway,
Please.
it's all good. We're it must be that beautiful Queensland water that I'm drinking, I reckon.
And with our man Tatey, you haven't made it till you made the Batuta Advocate, isn't it? Did you see that? Our man Tatey was front and centre. Well done, brother.
Very
good.
I'm actually quite proud of that. I got a few DMs from a few people. It said saying that I couldn't really handle my drink, which is probably fair. So, yeah.
You preferred DMs than a DUI, trust me.
Not a bad thing. That's why he's still with us.
Yeah. Any calls from Fox to go back on the sidelines, mate?
Nah. Well, I've got a couple of games to go for the year, so it's been tough doing the Cowboys, I must admit. So anyway, we'll continue to soldier on.
Well, what are your thoughts on the Cowboys at the moment, mate? Because it's been pretty wild and woolly for them as well.
Yeah, it has been, hasn't it? It's been really disappointing. Absolutely, no doubt. I think they've definitely got a roster that's capable of top 8 footy, and they just haven't produced this year for whatever reason. Defensively, they've just been poor. And their first sort of 20 minutes against the Sharks last week, I mean, it was diabolical almost. It was, it was definitely not NRL standard. And poor old Toddy Payton, I think every week, he's continuing to complain about, errors and penalties in that first 20 minutes, puts too much pressure on them, and defensively they just tire out. So, yeah, I don't know what the answers are there. They're going to have to certainly have a good, long, hard look at themselves in this off-season coming up, and try and finish the year on a positive. But there's definitely going to be some soul-searching from the coaches and the players, I'd imagine.
You mentioned the errors. So I think it was 1 from 6 at one stage in the completion rate to start the game. And when you start a game, you always want to start 6 from 6. Like that's what most teams have a goal of. We see Tamalalo back this week, which has been a timely boost for them. They needed some big men up front. Griffin Neem's done a great job, just competing. You got Tommy Dearden that just compete hard. But we're hearing this stuff from Toddy, some guys, and it's the same guys that are letting us down week in, week out. And does he need to make a complete shift of the squad, or does he still keep giving those blokes chances?
Oh, I think he'd probably like to, mate, but they don't have the depth in the club to be able to do it. And I think this is going to be a problem going forward for most clubs, especially when we bring in the North Sydney Bears, and then we're also talking about bringing another team in the PNG. Depth at clubs and their squads is, mate, they just don't have it at across the board. So, no doubt I think he'd like to do it, but whether he's got enough cattle there to be able to do it. I think on the weekend, there was a couple of guys that debuted, just out of necessity that probably aren't quite ready for first grade, but they've been given an opportunity. But one thing I would say, and pressures does bring different, I guess, mindsets for coaches. But some of those younger guys like Caden Lars and we saw Jamal Shibazaki get a run on the weekend. I'd nearly be really tempted to sort of keep those guys in there over the next few weeks and get them ready for next year's. Have a good sort of back end of the year, get them ready for a good preseason come 2026. So, but pressures of wins and losses, mate, does funny things. So whether he does that or not, I'm not sure, Toddy.
What do you make of the debutants' first game out?
Yeah, I thought Jamal Shibazaki, who's obviously Gammett's younger brother, I thought he was really good. He looks like he's going to be a player. I know they've got great raps on him. I think, he's a young kid and there's some probably improvement, with his off-field stuff that he'll need to get sorted. But, again, he's a young kid and still learning. But, I thought he looked good. And Marley Gittenbarney, played well as, for his first hit out as also. So,
He's a big lump,
There's
Teddy. Jesus.
some
Big
good
boy.
signs there, mate. But it's been disappointing overall.
What about Dolphins, mate? They just keep going up and up and up, fins up all the way.
Mate, what a game. That was unreal, that finish. It was awesome, wasn't it? They have lost Herbie, which I reckon is
Huge.
probably their biggest loss out of all those gun players that they've got. His first 18 minutes the other week against
man
the
of the match.
Warriors.
Yeah, was it 129 metres, 5 line breaks, a try assist, or a try and a try? I was like, seriously?
Unbelievable.
Too many
Mate,
stats.
he was brilliant. I know we talk about Crichton being one of the premier centre in the comp, but I think Herbie's the man. I love him. I think the thing I love about him the most, mate, is he goes after every single game he's in.
Yep.
If he's not getting the ball, he goes looking for it. And, mate, I reckon he's going to be a big loss for the Dolphins, probably their biggest loss to date.
It's crazy to think that majority of their starting side are now in the casualty ward, and yet they're still putting on great wins and great performances like they have.
It's awesome because they've got good cattle on the sidelines, like, Saifidi, Flegler, Tommy Gilbert, those sort of guys are representative players. So, I reckon he's done a great job, Wolfie. It's a good club, Redcliffe. They've got a huge junior base, and I reckon in the next few years they could be like the Panthers, just with the amount of juniors they've got. If they continue to foster that and grow it, mate, I reckon this club could be a powerhouse.
Tony, you reckon he's in the conversation for Coach of the Year? I know obviously Sticky's number one up the top. You got Ivan, 5 comps in a row he's trying to win. He's done a good job, but we all know when you take over a side after Wayne Bennett, how hard and sort of the club nearly self-destructs and they've got to restart again. But what Christian Wolf's done, and with the amount of cattle on the sidelines, he's got to be up there, doesn't he?
Oh, mate, I reckon he's nearly hands down. You're right. Every club that Wayne's gone to, that he's left, mate, it has imploded. Like, it's not something that is, it's real. Like the Knights, the Dragons, Brisbane a couple of times, South obviously. So it's a huge job for him to pick up the pieces and improve the club, because I think they'll play finals this year. So, mate, that's huge. And I'm with you. I reckon he's nearly a hands down. Give him the Coach of the Year.
Yeah, it's like they're all really playing for him.
Yeah.
And yes, they scraped home the other night. They grinded it out. They're in New Zealand. It's always going to be tough. They kind of maybe thought they were going to blow them out of the park just with their injuries as well. But they managed to get the win. But when they play here and they're on, oh my goodness.
So good to watch.
It's so scary. Why do you think the formula with the Dolphins has worked so well, being a new team into the comp, where Titans have just never been able to encapsulate that? Because it's strange, because they're the same. They were a new team. They tried to concentrate on just going for the kids, supporting them, because the adults had a different team. They're what, 40 minutes apart up the highway, and yet such stark differences.
Yeah, you're right. I guess the difference with the Dolphins is they've been around a long, long time. And they've got really good backing from, all the investments they've made over the years. I remember when I played there as a junior, their whole, I guess, being, even when I was back there 30 years ago, was to be an NRL team at some stage. So they've geared up to this and worked towards it for a long, long time. Yeah, again, it's just a mystery down at the Gold Coast. It's so hard to put your finger on. I do think the Titans it's a sleeping giant, right? Once they get that right, mate, it's going to be awesome, because they have got a huge talent base. They've got that whole Northern Rivers. I think once they foster that and get that part of it right, and get, I guess, the right people into that club, which I think they're well on the way to doing that. It's a sleeping giant, but far out. It's been a tough watch the last couple of years. So
do you think it would have been better if Titans just stuck with either like the Burleigh Bears or Tweed Seagulls and just strictly gone with them as a team following into the NRL rather than creating their own entity?
Well, I think no, but I think when you look at the really successful clubs like Panthers, Brisbane, and the Dolphins, I think, are replicating this right now. Their junior base and the way they foster that talent into their first grade, way it all funnels into first grade, is second to none, right? And the Panthers are, and Gus is doing it at the Bulldogs right now, building all those junior pathways. If you want to be successful year in and year out, that's the part you've got to get right. You've got to have that funnel of juniors wanting to play for your club. So, yeah, I think the Titans have got the ingredients there. It's just going to take a little bit of tinkering. But once they get it right, I do think they get good systems in place, it's going to be a sleeping giant.
Yeah, I went to high school on the Tweed Coast.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, with Chase Blair and what was his name again?
Jacob Miller?
No, sorry, played for the Titans. Was the captain for the Titans for years.
Ryan
Ryan
James.
James, with all those guys. The pedigree there is unbelievable.
Yep.
And it's like I never saw them growing up in like teenage years go to the Titans, other than Ryan James, of course. They'd all go elsewhere. It's like, why are you not using the talent there?
It's strange. But,
Yeah, no.
Sorry, Teddy.
So, you go, guards.
No, I was about to move on to the Titans in general and just about their result on the weekend because it was just bone crushing for them. To sort of turn around, almost get the win over Panthers, but there were some controversial calls, including Casey Badger getting dropped this week after one in particular. What did you make of the tackle from Brian To'o?
I thought it was ordinary. Like, I thought it was a penalty try. When I saw it straight away, I was like, that's a penalty try. Like, no doubt. And then when they didn't get the decision, I was thinking, mate, that's a rough call. Like, he got in good. And I think when you're that close to scoring and you get hit in the head like that, like it affects everything. So, yeah, I thought that was a rough call. I love watching the Titans play. They're a bit like the Dolphins when they're on, mate. Far out, they're exciting. Campbell is killing it at the moment. Anytime he gets the hand on the ball, mate, he is just electric. So, love watching him at the moment. But tough call. And then we obviously had the other controversy, which has been well talked about.
Oh yeah.
So,
what do you make of? There was a rumor of them moving Campbell on. Did you hear that? It was on the broadcast. It was on the Triple M broadcast.
Yep.
I was in the car on the way home, and they were talking about it was halftime. Obviously, they were 24-0 down, and they were saying that it's going to take so much. And obviously, Campbell's stepping up. But yeah, news from the sideline was he was the one that was going to be pushed out.
Wow.
But I could be
No,
completely.
mate, no
They
way.
could just be. Yeah, I'm not sure if the Queenslanders know something we don't.
No, I think just with because Keanu Kinney, he's back in reserve grade
He's
this
playing Q Cup
weekend.
this week. Yeah.
You got Brimson there as well, and you've got Campbell. Like, you've got so many fullbacks.
They've always had that problem,
Yeah.
though. They've always had that problem, and it's like they keep trying to convert people to 5'8". They've got a guy that plays 5'8". He's probably his best footy at 5'8".
Yep.
And now they'll start to have success, and they'll move him back to fullback. They did that at the start of the year, and look what happened. They just fell apart. Not that they were
I think he's
anyway.
got the talent to be a half, Campbell. Like, I think either a 6 or a 7. I definitely think he's got the makings of being a really good player in that position. And I think on the weekend, he definitely showed that we've all know he's got the talent, but I think there's just a couple of finer points to his game at being a halfback around, his kicking game, putting a bit more thought into that and just controlling different parts of the game. But mate, I think he's got the makings of a really good half, eh?
I think if he can get, because he's quite like heads up footy, right? And he plays what's in front of him. And I think if he can learn a bit more game management, he could be one of the best in that position, for sure.
But I reckon he's the most natural one they got. You watch Brimson try pass; it's real stiff. He's more of a runner of the ball. Like, he comes a lot more natural to Campbell, and I think. Well, I hope that they stick with him because he's a player I love watching. Tatey, up the road, the Broncos. Big win on, I think it was Friday night. To be honest, I wasn't too sold on that first half, Tatey. And against he spoke about depth in the Cowboys side. It's a dead set South Sydney reserve grade squad. You'd expect it to be nearly 40-0 at half time. They did get to 60, but it was the way they went about it. I thought they started off real slow against the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Yeah, they did. But look, at the end of the day, mate, I think they did beat them by 60 and beat them well. I think the best thing I thought about Brisbane's game, mate, is they didn't try and beat them in the first half. I reckon that's been Brisbane's problem the last few weeks, or when they've lost, is that they're trying to blow teams away and win the game in the first 20 minutes. And when that doesn't work, they fall to bits. So I thought that was probably their best part of their game, was just their control. I thought Reece Walsh is starting to get the balance right again, of not overplaying his hand. And I thought he was excellent again on the weekend. So, mate, huge test for him this week.
Ooh, yeah.
Heading down to Melbourne, and it's a big litmus test for him. And I think this will show where they're actually at, because Melbourne obviously always get up for them. They've got a horrible record down there, Brisbane against Melbourne. So, mate, I get a feeling they're going to be up for it though. I reckon the Bronx might do them.
Ooh, nice.
Don't tell me
I'm just saying, I reckon it might be time.
That's going to
that
be your
Brisbane
stat.
flex their muscle.
I think it's like 1 out of the last 12 games that
Yeah.
they've won. It's a good stat, but
Yeah.
great odds. Points, get them onto it.
Yeah.
But they've got no Jerome Hughes. But still, they're so stacked, and they're like, other than that,
And
they're
Haas is
pretty
back too.
fit. They're pretty. Yeah, Haas is back. I think that was a good week to rest Haas in the end.
Beautiful.
Well, I
Like,
don't think they had a choice. He was in hospital.
no, exactly right. I think it was kind of like what's meant to be is meant to be. He needed a rest. And imagine if he'd play. I think maybe the slow start might have been they missed him.
Yep.
Like,
That's
but
fair,
I
yeah.
think like what Teddy was saying, like they try and score off every play in the first 20 minutes.
Those games are also hard to win because you're expected to win.
Exactly
That's the
right.
hardest part about those.
And like Wayne Bennett put it pretty bluntly, he expected that to happen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
And you know he's been around long enough to know that's
They,
going to
they
happen.
lost their 18th man. They were literally down
Yeah,
to
they-
like grabbing someone,
did
to chucking
too.
a jersey into the stadium and
Mate.
going, who's going to line up for us?
Random South guy.
Yeah, there's always one.
There would have been about 1,000 of those
know.
guys
Yeah,
ready to
Getting their
line up.
weasel.
Random Manly guy.
Weasel
got
straight in. Hey, Tatey, before we jump off, I know we've covered all the Queensland teams with you, but two things that I sort of want to touch on is obviously that controversial kick and the Panthers trainer running in from 10 metres in and sort of, it might be an unpopular opinion, but I kind of feel like Campbell had enough time to reset in my head. So I know I'm probably going to get slagged for that. I'm not a kicker. I've never kicked. I've never played a game of rugby league. So
You don't walk
completely
it-
come at me.
You don't walk in front of a putt, do you?
Well, no, I know. Like, I still think it was wrong.
And I
but-
think it's made worse by Penrith's year of sort of trainers
Cheeky.
doing
They've
Yeah.
had 6 breaches
dumb stuff.
Yeah.
already.
If it was the first one, we're probably not talking about it.
So, yeah, see, I'm going to get hammered for my comment, which I'm fine with. But I still feel like, yes, it was 100% wrong, but I still think there was enough time to reset
Yeah.
and kick. I mean, as
I'll
I
ask
said,
Tatey, do you reckon there should be a rule change for it, Tatey? Like, if that does happen, do they get to kick it from in front or do they get a second chance?
Mate, I reckon automatically kick in front.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's
from
fair.
the same distance out.
yeah.
And it was a big kick
Yep.
too because they're up by 2 points,
Yeah.
which ended up being the 2-point field goal that got them back to a level score. So
Yeah.
it ended up being massive.
But
in
also,
the terms.
they're professional athletes. They get paid to kick a football. Kick it between the sticks.
You're on with me now. You and I are going to get
Yeah,
slagged for that comment.
I know. But look, I don't think the trainer running in front is right. But I also think like that can't be a whole excuse for missing that kick.
Yeah. I like Woodsy's like quiet.
I know that trainer. I had him at West Tigers.
Oh, really?
And let me tell you, he's a dead set airhead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm telling you. So he would have no idea. He would have, I reckon, for sure, he wouldn't have thought he was doing anything wrong.
Yeah, he the poor guy.
looked mortified.
He had nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
That's the sort of
different cat.
thing you think about every night for the rest of your life before you fall asleep.
Oh.
That's the sort of thing that's how I would feel about it.
What about
That-
trying to wave to the crowd afterwards? The crowd
I
was
know.
filthy at you, champ.
Ooh,
Just get
yeah.
off the field.
Mate, run and just hit the tunnel. Just go. It was a game that could have been a real booster for the Titans,
Yeah.
and to lose that controversial try, and then also to follow through with the the kick conversion. Geez, that was painful for them.
It's been a tough year for him. It definitely would have obviously helped him guards. I love that they didn't use it as an excuse. So like
Yeah.
Desi didn't use it as an excuse. He just got on with it. So, but it's tough when you look back and you're fighting for your season. You know, Desi's possibly fighting to stay as coach. You know, every 2 points is so bloody difficult to get. And I guess sometimes you'd probably, and they've got a right to feel a little dudded, I guess, on the weekend, the Titans. But anyway, you take the good with the bad sometimes.
50,000 fine and 4-match suspension, though. Do you think too much? Was
I
that
think
enough?
it's a bit much.
I know Gould came out and sprayed the NRL and said they'd bowed to social media opinion. Thoughts?
I'm not going to listen to whatever you
Yeah,
say.
I just you'd probably the 50,000 fine. That's big.
It's huge.
That's huge.
It goes to the Panthers, but the 5-game suspension as well.
Pocket change for the Panthers.
Yeah. This is a quick payment.
I don't know what. There's never really been another fine like that, so it's
Yeah.
hard to judge it on what it is.
Oh, I think it's a bit much. I think maybe
Yeah.
10 grand's probably more appropriate.
Should be like 10 grand suspended.
But like you said, 6 breaches over the year. They're probably
Yeah.
just like, well, you know what? It'll stop everyone else from doing it.
Yeah.
Well, don't think anyone else would ever do it anyway.
I would.
You'd run straight at them.
You get sent, mate.
The other thing I sort of wanted to bring up, Tatey, while we've got you, is the new Dally M rule change. Marky Mark has had an outstanding year this year, absolutely flying. They've decided halfway through the season that he's no longer in contention for Rookie of the Year because he'd played as an international in another sport, as opposed to like a lot of the other guys. This is their first year out of Reggie's. Thoughts on that one? And to do it halfway through the season, I think is probably the biggest.
Rubbish. Hate the
talking
call. It's his first time playing league. I reckon he absolutely should be eligible.
He's a professional
He's had
athlete.
a great season.
He was a professional athlete before he was, in a similar code. I think it's fair. If I'm a rookie, an actual rookie playing my first year of professional rugby league, professional sport, and someone wins it who's won an Olympic gold medal and played, for his country already in a similar discipline, I'd be filthy.
So you're happy with it?
I'm happy with the call.
I think it's a joke because he is a rookie. It's his first year. So he goes under what is called a rookie.
But he can still win Centre of the Year. He can still win the Daily M itself. He can still win all this stuff.
But he's learning the rugby league rules now. Like he's come from a rugby union background.
All right.
You can't shift the goalpost halfway through the season, Ash. Rules are rules.
Yeah, that's true as well. Maybe it should have been done earlier, but I don't have a big problem with it. And like, if it was me, if I'm Marky Mark, I'm not a rookie, and I would hate to be called a rookie, especially if I've been a professional athlete at the highest level in a similar.
He's a rookie NRL player.
Aren't they all?
Not a rookie union. That's what.
I see the point, but I think that a true rookie of the game should win it.
It's a fair point you make. But see, I look at Leka Halasima. He played 4 games last year.
Yeah.
I personally want to see if you just debut that year.
Yeah, because the cutoff is 5 games. Once you've played 5 games or more, you're no longer in contention for that as well too. So he's only
Marky
played 4
last year as well.
He played 2 games?
Yeah, he played. But I'd rather just see whoever debuts in that season. They're the rookies of that year.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought I thought that was a rule anyway.
So did I. Until a couple years ago,
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Let's go with that.
Yeah. All right, Tatey, we'll let you jump off so you can head off on to your other work. But thanks again so much for joining us this week.
Thank you, legend. See you next week.
See you,
Cheers,
Tatey.
mate. Thanks, buddy.
Well, we've covered off all most of the controversy over the weekend, and I love it that we're just different opinions on here. It makes it fresh,
What's it all about?
Exactly.
It's a discussion.
Freshen it up a little bit.
Exactly. Asha, your round review, as I mentioned, there
Favourite
was
part of
some
the show.
wet weather on the weekend.
Oh, it was brutal. I had 2 sick kids at home as well, so I don't really leave that much.
Oh, well, you're lucky you weren't on the hill at Brookie. Cause
I wouldn't have been.
I'll tell you what, though, it was a busy hill.
Yeah, good on it. Especially the game before at, down south.
Cogra.
Cogra game.
Wynn
No one
Stadium.
on the hill.
Yeah.
Wollongong.
No one on the
Wollongong,
hill.
sorry, yeah.
And then you go to the next game after that. It's later, it's colder, so it shows true fans.
But
I wasn't there.
But also, half of the fans on the hill were Roosters, which I didn't realise because you could barely see their colours because it was just
of the
poncho.com.
Poncho City up there.
And it was when Roosters scored the first try in the left corner. I can't remember who it was. And the crowd erupted and started cheering. And I turned around and I was like, a Manly fan's just stoked that there's a try scored in the corner. And then this Rooster sign came up. It was half the hill.
Wow.
It was a dead set split down the middle. So they crossed the bridge.
Did you watch the Sharks game on Sunday?
Bits and pieces.
No, yeah.
Oh, so the ball went in the corner. I think it was the
big
northern
puddle?
end, and then Sifa Talakai went to chase it and slid all in it. His whole body was in. Like I'm telling you, you couldn't see his knees.
Sunday
shocking.
afternoon dip.
It was in the first 10 minutes, so he had to play the rest of the game just drenched.
They kept crossing to it on the cameras before the game kicked off, and it was like the whole corner where the camera sits was like
That's where he was.
Yeah,
He was stuck in there.
And the aim of the game would have been to kick it into that corner.
Oh, mate.
I used to love that as a kid. Like
Why
into the
is there
corner.
such bad drainage down there? It's horrible. They
I'm
haven't
not too
fixed
sure.
it.
There's always certain stadiums where it's certain corners that get worse than the other, but yeah, poor old Sifa Talakai. Jesus. Soggy boots. There's nothing worse than running soggy boots.
Love to see it. But yeah, a lot of rain, but there's still a lot of points scored around the traps. I was thinking, obviously a lot of other fields, drainage is much better now than it was, back in
Back in the day.
Back in the day over here. But look, couple of moments to pick out. I obviously Manly, they were dreadful. We get it, but the Teddy call baffled me early on, regardless of the result.
Which one?
Nothing against Teddy, obviously. He was he jumped very early, I will say. He jumped before the game even started, but he made direct contact with the head of Lehigh Hopewadi direct contact. If you hit someone with in the head with the lower half of your body, it's got to be more than just a penalty.
I just think this is where, as a fan, we get really unsure of the rules with referees. The week before Jack Whiten goes out, and he went in with the shoulder charge, but he mistimed it, and it was the head-on-head which caused the knockout of Toby Rudolph. And in this instance, you could say it's basically the same thing. James Tedesco's going up to catch the ball, but he's jumped literally a second or a metre too early, and he was never going to make the catch. And poor old Leo Hopewadi, he's just copped a straight knee to the head.
He jumped so early, he beat the ball down.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
what I mean.
he
So
hit-
where as a fan, we're like, well, why is Jack Whiten get suspended for 3 weeks if he fights at 4, which was what he got? And then even in the game, it was a penalty, wasn't it?
It was a penalty, and that's
Just a
it.
penalty, that's
no
it, yeah.
report,
Yeah.
no. He had, and this is another thing too. If the player that gets hit has to go for 15, there has to be repercussions more than a penalty.
with a H
It
on
can't be, I feel like it should be, okay, well, he's category 2 now. We need to go back. You're off for 10. He's off for 10. We're essentially down a man, our best player, one of the best players we've had all year, because you jumped a bit early. Yet, again, nothing on Tedesco because he's just mistimed it. It happens. But the referees need to actually be
Well,
consistent.
personally, I think Jack Whiten should have got 0, and I think Tedesco should have got 0. I don't think there was anything in either. But the problem is they gave Whiten 10 to bin the penalty. They gave Tedesco a penalty. So the other teams are the ones that lose out because they lose the player.
And if it's a category 1, we lose him again for the next week.
Well, he is.
He is out for
He's
this
gone.
week.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's like, okay, well,
That's what I mean. That's
doesn't make any
where you're
sense.
scratching your head after a game and going, well, how does that work?
Yeah.
You know?
There's too many grey areas with it because it's a rule for one, rule for another. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you start bringing in that rule, if the person gets knocked out by it, the other
mate,
player should go
there's-
off, but then it's an accidental
And it's
hit.
like we spoke about earlier in the show with Tatey, the Brian Tyler tackle.
Yeah.
Like he did not miss Philip Semi in the corner, and how they come up with just a penalty from it. He was in the act of scoring a try. If he doesn't get clipped on the head, he scores.
Yeah. Well, I think it
Plain and
was
simple.
Foreign saying after the game, he goes, he was asleep on the way down
That's what I
before
mean,
he
yeah.
could put the ball down. Like he was out cold.
And then now Philip Semi's out this week with a concussion.
it's crazy. I just think they need to just some consistency. I'm not asking for big rule changes. I'm not just it's if fans are seeing it.
Well, I got one. Actually, I got another one for you on the officials. Alex Seyfarth goes in with the shot, hits the contact with the head.
Yeah.
He gets 10 the bin. Crichton absolutely obliterates Taylor May.
Oh yeah,
Didn't even get 10 the bin. But
Just a
then Taylor
penalty.
May gets he's out for the week because he's had a category 1.
Yeah.
yeah. He's gone for another week. It's
That
consistency.
baffled me. And then he
All
got
I'm
3
asking
weeks
for.
suspension. Unbelievable.
It's just been one of those years where you don't know what's going to happen.
No,
Yeah.
It's a lotto. Every
is.
week,
It
every
is.
game, you just don't know.
hip
It's like,
drops. You don't know if it's going to be a hip drop anymore or if it's, mate.
we need AI refereeing.
You guys could go on for this for
I know,
ages,
I
so
know,
let's
I
move
know.
But
on.
the referees are getting held accountable now, which is great to see.
Well, this is true. This is true. Ash, can I just point out before you hit your high, I would like to put hand on heart and apologise because I bagged you when you said
That's my high. I never thought
the
the Dragons.
Raiders were going to have to lose one this week, and I laughed in your face, and I
You
have to
both
apologise.
did actually.
Yeah.
Everyone did. Everyone laughed.
Oh, mate. Cop that.
I got one. I get one a year though. Honestly, that was my high, and I never thought the Dragons would be my high.
Really?
And I thought it was a bit of an arm wrestle. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna.
Yeah.
I thought the Raiders would have come home, to be honest. But yeah, got one. Everyone bagged
Well
me.
done. No, I said hand on heart. I apologise.
I've got a high, but it's not involved in that game.
Okay.
It's my man, Nico Hines at the Sharks. Ever since you've come out and publicly slammed the great Nico Hines, Ash,
Yeah.
they have just gone boom. They've skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Up. And I reckon they are a chance of making the top 4 now.
Yeah. Okay.
you've
Yeah.
said
I'm
that.
declaring it. Like they're a smoky, but if you look at their run home, they dead set should win every game. They've only got the Bulldogs that are up ahead of them.
Yeah.
And they're a big chance of knocking off the Dogs. They've got a great attack, but you have just unleashed a beast.
Sorry, guys. Credit where credit's due, to
Who
be
have
honest,
Sharks
for
got?
both of us, for me and for him. But the one thing that
Dragons
I
this week.
noticed the other
Dragons,
day,
Titans, Knights, Bulldogs.
yeah, they got a pretty good run
Yeah.
home. When Gus Gould said that Nico about the trainer. He said, Nico said he'd just reset it and kick it. Garbage. That's garbage.
You just can't give the man any love, can you?
No.
You just cannot give Nico Hines some
I'm
love.
helping him try and win a comp. Yeah. Credit where credit's due. They're playing well. He's kicking everything. It is what he's coming into form. The whole team's coming into form.
Yeah, they're playing
at the
some
right
great
time.
footy.
So, but it still doesn't take him that much to blow them over. The Cowboys were dreadful.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Who have they got this week?
Dragons.
Dragons.
But they got Dragons.
Bit of a derby.
Oh no, Dragons and Sharks.
Dragon Sharks.
Yeah, so you've got
Yeah.
Cowboys are taking on.
I mean the
Eels.
Sharks. Sorry.
You want no
Yeah.
Sharks.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I don't know. You just don't know. And like the Cowboys were dreadful. So
Yeah.
I can't really.
Just give the team some credit, man.
I said credit where credit's due. They're coming
But
in.
then you went negative. Then you went negative.
Yeah,
about
I was going to
Cowboys.
finish negative. I'm tipping the Dragons too.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, but that was my high. It's good
Yeah.
to prove everyone wrong with one game of the year.
No, I was laughing, and we're obviously having a bit of banter in the group chat, but you needed the credit.
Thank
there.
you. Thank you.
We had to give you.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I need something.
If only it was the same for the Panthers Titans.
You were so close before.
So
close.
close. Yeah. Good round of footy. Wet.
I like
like
it.
it,
Yeah. Well, it's still a bit of rain in Sydney this weekend, so it's going to be some interesting games and chats as well too. But let's head into the Would You Back It. We kick off on Thursday night, and it's Storm versus Broncos. And Ash, you've already chucked that in. Your Would You Back It?
Yeah. I think the Storm will be too strong down there. It's coming to the real pointy end now, and Bellyache will have them switched on. I think the last couple of games they've been that game they played against Para. They really played.
They should have lost.
Yeah.
They should have lost.
They didn't play
Punch
well.
down.
It wasn't a good game at all. It was very like reserve grade football, if you ask me. Which it happens. So it's probably a good thing it's happened against Para, and they could scrape home for a win, and then they're not too butthurt about it, and Belly can turn them around. For my multi, I did put something in the chat, but I'm going to slightly change it.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm going to go Storm head to head.
Yeah.
I'm going to go first try scorer
First.
X Xavier Coates.
Xavier.
Yeah, nice.
I think if anyone's going to score first down there, it's him. But I'm going to, I had Grant in there for any time as well. I'm going to keep that in there. But I'm going to actually have Xavier Coates to score 2+ tries.
Yeah, nice. Against the old squad.
Yeah, I think first try and another try on top
like
of
that.
him
I like
will
that.
icing on the cake, and they'll win that. I don't think. The Broncos, off the back of flogging another team, if we go back in history and look at teams getting a really big win, they usually lose the week after.
Oh, okay.
And like the Storm, some of the errors they come up with, you could see how filthy. Craig Bellamy looked.
Unstorms like.
Wouldn't be a great week of training, I reckon.
What's the weather like down there? If it's a dry track, it's going to be points.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Broncos obviously chewing at the bit to stay in the top 4, but they've got to play Storm twice
that's
between
tough.
now and the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like, yuck.
Yucky
If I'm Brisbane last week, I'm easing up a little bit, not to get to 60, because if you go back through, I don't know if you think the same. If you go back through a lot of teams that have flogged someone, usually they're too cocky the week after.
It's a bit of a false sense. Isn't
Exactly
it?
right.
Yeah, but is it a false sense when they beat South with no players?
They were expected to win like that.
Yeah.
It's still.
I think it would have been worse if they only won by like 30 or 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Then we'd be questioning it.
Yep.
All right, Friday, Knights versus Panthers, boys. Who takes that one?
Panthers.
I think you'd have to go Panthers, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I
Jake
reckon it's gonna
Arthur's
be-
going to debut at 6, so Panthers.
Yeah. I reckon miserable conditions again this weekend,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, well.
And playing up at Newcastle in the rain, it just comes in sideways there.
I reckon it'll be closer than we think.
Horrific.
But the Panthers will win.
What's the field going to be like after a Magic round up there?
Mush.
Did you see it last week?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's horrific.
The Panthers should roll over them.
This one's going to be hard to watch. Raiders
Raiders.
versus Manly in Canberra.
Manly.
Yeah.
Tom Trebojevic back to fullback.
Tommy Talau in.
Wow.
I love seeing Turbo at
Against
fullback.
Raiders at home on a cold
They go
wet
right.
night.
Manly go good down there. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Manly.
Got me thinking, eh?
I'm back in Manly. I'm sticking with the boys.
I'm going with you, Woodsy.
Every time I
Because
don't
Manly-
tip them, they win. So I'm going to stick with the
Manly are a
Raiders.
side that you just cannot get a read on.
Yeah.
When you think they're going to lose, they win. When you think they're going to win,
Yeah, I
they do
know.
it to us on a weekend.
But that's always happens when I tip against them.
Well, tip-
so yeah,
tip
I will
Raiders,
stay.
please.
I'll stay on Raiders just for Manly.
Who have the Raiders got anyone out?
No, he's named the same one to
Name.
maintain.
Yes.
Great. And we've got.
And they're coming off a loss. No.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Do you regret
No,
that?
let's stick with
Nah,
it.
I'm
Woodsy.
sticking with Manly.
Right.
Come on,
Stick with
Jakey.
it.
Let's go, big boy.
Okay, Saturday, Dragons versus Shark. Woodsy, this is your would you back it for the week?
Yeah, this is my would you back it for the week. And StatsMate had some pretty good stats in here, which I did like. They had Tyrell Sloan. He's been scoring. He's a try scoring machine over the past 5 weeks, scoring 6 tries in his past 5 matches. So I put him in my multi. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go Dragons with the start. So it's 6.5. So either way.
You got your foot in both camps here.
I do, because Shane Flanagan has absolutely roasted me throughout the week. My great mate Flano, because I've come out and I've said the Sharks are a smoky to make the top 4.
Can you tell him next time you speak to him that he's welcome?
Yeah, he actually was. He actually goes, the other nitwit that you do the show with. I'm very happy that he backed us last.
You're
I was
welcome,
going to say, was
Flano.
he talking about me?
No, he was talking about the
yeah,
bloke with the moustache. But I'm going to go Dragons with the 6.5 start. Sloan anytime try scorer, and Ronaldo Mulatalo anytime try scorer.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna back the Dragons again.
Yeah.
I reckon, like, you got to remember, these are local
Dublé.
derbies. These are local derbies. Flano had been at the Sharks' first premiership
Yeah.
winning coach. He will have these boys fired up for this game.
He's got something to prove here. He'll get up for it. And I think, like I said, they were desperate last week. They got it done. And I think they had more in the tank too, if you ask me.
They're a side that they compete really hard. Sometimes they just lack that killer blow, but you know they're going to be in and about with the game. Like, they'll be there. Like, so I reckon it's going to be a close game.
Okay. Dolphins and Roosters. Obviously, Herbie Farnworth, the latest casualty for the Dolphins. They just keep losing more and more and more and more, as we said at the start of the chat. But do you think they can get up a win at home?
I'm
Against
going Roosters. I just think the Farnworth's massive. Like,
Yep.
Herbie's been, I think Tatey mentioned, he's been the best centre in the competition. He's the best centre in the world. And to lose him, the way he started that first 18 minutes last week was unbelievable.
Who comes in to replace him?
I'm not too sure.
I have to have a look at that. I'm gonna go the Dolphins. Just because I'm a bit butthurt about Saturday.
All right, doggies licking their wounds after last week's loss to the West Tigers, taking on the Warriors at home.
Well, James Fisher-Harris is named in the extended bench, which is a big boost for the Warriors. Don't know if he's definitely playing, but wow, the Bulldogs, they were very poor
And
last
Chanel
week.
Tavita-Harris is back as well too
Yeah,
with
yep.
Tamani.
Yeah, Harris Tavita's back in. But
Also, you've got, do you see this photo getting around with
Galvin, let's just
Galvin's
say,
hand?
if it is right, can I put my bet out there? But I want to change it until I know what the weather's like on Saturday, because the Bulldogs
Check your iPhone, bro.
Here we
The
go.
it says raining, but I want to
Can't
see.
trust it.
Bulldogs have been smashed by the Dolphins in the rain, smashed by the Broncos in the rain, and smashed by the Tigers in the rain.
Yeah, well, Saturday it says basically going to be showers all day.
Well, then I'm going to go the Warriors.
Are they at Belmont?
I think it's at Homebush.
yeah.
Acorn.
Okay.
go the Warriors, thank you.
Sunday, Titans versus South.
Is this the wooden spoon? Is this
Well,
the
it's-
spoon bowl?
It is the spoon bowl.
It could be, yeah. I think so. That's a tricky one because they're both crap.
I'm going to the Gold Coast Titans. I just think they got points in them. I like what they did. Like you said, Campbell
Yeah.
like, scoring 24 points in one half of footy against the Panthers. That was
They're at home too, yeah.
they're at home as well. So yeah, I'm going to go Titans in this one.
Yep.
Okay. Wrap up the round. Eels taking on the Cowboys.
Oh, why do I feel like that should be the spoon bowl?
I'm going to go Eels. I just like Mitchell Moses back in the side. They're a different team.
Yeah.
Because was it Dearden got 10 in the bin, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a big split. 10 the bin. He'll be right. Tamalolo's back.
Yep.
Clifford's back, and Vilea is back in the centres.
You went the Eels, did you?
Yeah, I just think the Eels play better when Mitchell's there. That last week against the Storm, they had a really red hot crack. Love what Jason Rolls is doing there. Just love it. He's planning for the future. Dylan Brown, see you later, champ. We're going to get players that we want in the future, and they're all playing for him.
Yeah, I'd be real nervous if I was the Cowboys. So I'm going to go the Eels.
Okay. There's already a few teams that basically, I mean, a couple more rounds and they'd already be deep in planning their end of season trips. I think it's funny now with end of season trips that teams don't go away as a whole anymore.
No, they don't,
When
mate.
my old man used to play, they used to go to Hawaii every year.
Too much trouble.
Yeah, but
That's-
now
that-
now
that-
they split into
Clubs are very aware of it. Like, they don't really want you doing that.
yeah, right.
Yeah, and then like a lot of there's with the off-season internationals now.
Yeah, of
Sergio, we used to
course.
mate at Tigers early days. John Morris, when I was coming through the ranks, he would be like the designated organizer, and you'd have a kitty, you'd have a name up on the it was Alan Mayer, he was our team manager. You'd have the spreadsheet of every player's name, who's in. and there was only 2 ways that you could get your money back from a refund, was whether you were in international duties or if you had off-season surgery.
Right.
They were the only way you
Or
could
if
get
you're
your money.
Yeah.
You couldn't say then, I've changed my mind. If
Yep.
you did it, you got to donate your money to it. Because throughout the season, we'd do fundraisers, we'd raise money for the kiddie.
What kind of fundraisers would you do? You did car washes or?
Nah, like so we'd all
Bikini coat?
Jesus, we'd have to pay money.
You do it nude.
We used to have like a West Tigers. It was like a grand final luncheon, and you'd auction off a lunch with the boys and all that. So basically, the sponsors would buy it, and it was just be straight back to the club.
So you were basically getting the sponsors to
Yep.
pay for your triple A.
Professional athletes.
One night, I think
We need a fundraiser.
But Johnny
Oh my
Morris, we
goodness.
had it at one of the sponsors' houses, and he full organised. You know the mechanical bull.
Yeah.
So we had everyone there.
I love how you
Everyone
just
was
rode that.
we're having a great time. Everyone's blind. And I go, how good is this? This money's going towards our end of season trip. Couldn't be better, could it? We ended up going to Vegas.
Oh God.
And so the first year they went, my first year of NRL, I wasn't allowed to go because I wasn't old enough.
Oh
You
yeah.
got to
it
be
was
21 in America.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was eventually 21 and I was playing, I said, boys, can we please go to Vegas end of this year? And they're like, I've been the last 2 years. I was like, I wasn't allowed to go. I'm 21. And then so when I went with the boys, mate, geez, it was fun.
Who was best on tour?
Well, everyone. The late God rest his soul, Masadi Yusefa.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I remember the first night we got into Vegas. So you got to remember, you're getting to Vegas. It's a long flight. You fly to LA.
Yep.
LA to Vegas, and then when we first got there, so it was myself, Lottie Takiri, Ben Murdoch, Masila, Masadi Yusefa, Chris Lawrence.
Yep.
I think we were the first wave to get there, and then like Benji, Mark Flanagan, Tim Maltson, they came a little bit later because Benji had the hookups with Air New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
So they couldn't
of
get the same
course.
flights as us. And Lottie's like, well, it's the boys' first time, so we thought we were mad, and we got a limo. We went straight to the Bottle, we loaded up, and we're like, all right, guys, this is enough liquor for the
Oh,
week.
you got first night fever.
We were there for 6 nights. We drank all that drink in the first night before we went out. And then, so we're Polacks walking down to go to the strip. We see the Gold Coast Titans boys there.
Oh.
They'd been in Vegas for 10 nights.
Oh.
If you want to like look up in the dictionary what death looks like,
Yeah, I did 9
those
nights.
those Gold Coast Titans blokes, they look like death.
That was all Birdie and.
But I remember Bodine Thompson was there.
Yeah.
I think Matt Rogers was there at that
Yeah.
stage. There was a few of them, like there was a few of those old heads. Bull Bailey,
Yeah.
LaFranchi. Like it was a really good crew they had.
Yeah.
But geez, they were wounded soldiers.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I
10
did
nights, man.
I did 9 nights last year
Oh.
for the
Yeah.
opening of the NRL, and that was too much.
But the good thing was, so we raised a lot of money, and basically it got to the last night.
Stop saying you raised
know.
money like it
did.
was a charity.
No,
It's
it's
like,
like a high level.
We worked for
private
the
school
money.
being like, oh, geez, we need to raise some funds.
We worked for it, and then all we really had to do was pay for
Lofty
flights,
day.
accommodation, and then $300 each on the last night because we had tables and all that.
of course you did.
Yeah, it was mad. It was.
We
Sam
raised
Burgess-
heaps of
Sam
money from
Burgess
those
come in
sausage
over there.
sizzles.
Sam Burgess, we had 2 penthouse suites. It was so good, man.
What sort of fundraisers are you doing, man?
Mate, actually,
But you know
Very
what
good.
I can't tell you too much about Vegas because you know what happens in Vegas.
Stays in
stays in Vegas. It absolutely does.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there for today's episode. I think the perfect time to chime out before more stories of Vegas come out. But thank you very
Tell you
much.
off air.
Yeah. Mike's always on. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Woodsy.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this potty and voddy with your mates. We want to see you back next week for round 24.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.